Toxic positivity. You've all heard about this. Suppress the emotions and the feelings that you have because a guru, a YouTuber, someone online is saying, keep positive, I did this, I did that, it worked for me. The idea of we should always be positive, happy, and upbeat, no matter what life throws at us. But let's be real for a moment. Life isn't all about rainbows, butterflies. It's okay not to be okay. The idea that you have to be positive all the time, regardless of what is going on, you have to put on a smile. If you stay in your emotions, if you allow yourself to feel and walk into your emotions, then you're not being a positive person, then you're being a weak person. And that is where toxic positivity comes in. It becomes toxic when we take away the idea of what having emotions is, what feeling is, and what it means to be an empath. But don't get me wrong, positivity is not a bad thing. I always talk about try to be positive, try to be okay. I read in a book that said the worst thing that you can ever do for someone that is in need is by telling them it's fine, it's gonna be okay. Think positive. The idea of you telling them to think positive in a situation where they are feeling low creates more tension and creates more pressure for them to try to think that way, even when they feel they cannot think that way. So you add more pressure onto the person just because they are not thinking the way the world says that you should think positively. Imagine this. You woke up in the morning, your alarm went off, you decided to snooze. Then by the time you wake up, you've woken up an hour late to get to work. On your way, when you step out of the house, you walk a bit to go maybe get your bus or get in your car, you realize, oh, I forgot my phone. You go back in the house, you get your phone. That means that your time has gone down. Now you get in the car, you start to drive. Halfway through, your tire just goes off, or halfway through, the bus is delayed. And now you're sat there, you're like, oh my God, I'm really late. You call your manager, you tell them, look, I'm going to be a little bit late. But you can feel the energy, you can feel the attitude of the manager that they're not very happy about that. But then you carry on onto your journey. As you're walking towards work, a bad just shits on you. You try to clean it off, and it literally becomes a little bit worse. You get into work, just before you enter the door, your phone falls down and breaks and cracks. Then you meet someone at work where you tell about the story and you're like, this is how my day was, and they tell you, think positive, it's gonna be okay. How bad is that? How would you feel if that was said to you? The thing that happens with all these positivity videos and be positive and try to come out of it, it's okay. Forget about the complexity of life. Philosophical traditions like extensionism, they tend to recognize that life is inherently complex and often marked by suffering, uncertainty, and extensional circumstances. When we get in a situation whereby we are teaching people, telling people to relentlessly to reject these aspects, to reject the reality of life in favor of relentless positivity, can lead to an oversimplified aspect of life. This is why some people find it difficult in situations where they say, why am I not like everybody else? Why can I not think or be positive like everybody else? They say life should be very simple. Just think positive. Things in life should be easy. Just apply positive thinking. When such words are thrown at you, or they are thrown at me, they're thrown at anybody else, it creates a situation in which we have oversimplified life and we've forgotten about the struggles of life and the things that actually have to happen in life. There is a difference between resilience, going through things, understanding that I am in pain now, than actually pushing it away. The threshold of pain has been oversimplified into positivity, into the fact that if you don't feel positive right now, it means there is an issue with you. If you're not in a headspace whereby you can knock it off, forget about it, and move on to something else, then there is something much deeper than this. There is a mental issue going on. There is some sort of depression going on. There is something not right with you. You start questioning the pain and the reality of life at that very moment to create situations or things in your life that you actually know. Sometimes it's a phase of life that you're going through. It's a phase, it's a season, it's a moment that you're going through, and it's okay to have that moment, and it should be okay to have that moment. It should be normalized in a way that it's fine and it is okay to be in that situation and to feel the way you feel. If you think about the concept of well-being and suppression, philosophers always often explore the concept of well-being and flourishing. Toxic positivity can always be seen as a misguided attempt at promoting well-being by suppressing negative emotion, which takes away the idea of processing, addressing emotions in a healthy way. There is a very good healthy way in which you can process your emotions. The idea of toxic positivity or being positive all the time creates the concept of suppression. You suppress your feelings of how you're feeling now in hopes that the positive talks that you have with yourself do help. You know, the affirmations you say to yourself every single morning, it's gonna be okay, it is okay, I am fine, in your life that are really, really, really hard. I'm not saying those things do not change. I'm not saying those things do not make an impact in your life or make you feel and think positively and look at things differently. It's the idea of, I need to stop now. I need to think about this later. You suppress the emotions and the feelings that you have because a guru, a YouTuber, someone online is saying, keep positive, I did this, I did that, it worked for me. You have to come to terms with reality and say to yourself, something that works for someone A does not work for someone who is B. You could be B and that doesn't work for you. I've seen people, I've experienced people who actually don't go down the route of positive thinking, positive this, positive that, I am good, I am great, I am this, I'm that, I'm that, who actually allow themselves to sink in the emotions, allow themselves to feel the emotions. They are fully aware of what the top feels like, but right now they're at the bottom. After they feel everything, they absorb everything, then they're able to get themselves back up. Now imagine being at the bottom and constantly you're being told that you need to go to the top, you need to go to the top, you need to go to the top, you can't stay at the bottom, you need to go to the top, you can't stay at the bottom, you need to go to the top. That makes you even feel worse than you felt before. Philosophers always debate the role of individual agency in shaping one's life. Toxic positivity in itself can sometimes undermine personal agency by suggesting that positive thinking alone can overcome all challenges, neglecting external factors and systematic issues. The fact that positive thinking alone can literally get you out of any situation that you're in is literally not the truth. It's literally not an idea that should be pushed out there. Sometimes acting and doing something can help you, get yourself out of the situation. The idea of that you have to be positive, you have to think this, you have to always be in this kind of mood creates an idea of, what am I doing wrong? Or what can I do to change my life right now? So you take away the pain and start fighting the fact that you're not feeling positive in that very moment. Philosophers like Brené Brown tend to argue that vulnerability and authenticity are essential for forming human connections. Because toxic positivity undermines your vulnerable side of you. It undermines the side of you that makes you a person, the side of you that connects you to the life in which you should be living, the life in which you are allowed to say how you feel, you are okay with sharing how you feel, because that way you're able to find closure. Toxic positivity can be a situation whereby it does not allow you to be vulnerable. We have a lot of people amongst us, a lot of people with us, a lot of people that we know that are actually afraid of being vulnerable, because it's not an act of being positive. It's not an act of how they are good with their mind, or how they're thinking or feeling within their minds, because it's not a positive aspect of life. Do not get me wrong, there are situations in which you have to let go of that situation because it's not serving you and it's not bad at all. You know, for example, someone driving by and splashing water on you, for example, be late at work, dropping your cup, you know, missing your bus on time. Those things are things that pass by, and in passing they should go as well. But the situation in which you have lost a dear loved one, you've lost a business deal, like really bad, big, drastic things, then much more time needs to be given to them, because the time it took to yield them and build them and get to where it got, it was a process that has become a part of you, that needs you and requires you to sit in that situation and feel it and go through it. You know, it's not like, oh, you were led to work today and you're like, oh, okay, cool, things happen, stuff happens, tomorrow I'll be better. We watch so many things left and right that show us that people have accomplished their goals, they've achieved things in their lives because of them thinking positively, manifesting, you know, visualizing all those kind of things in a very positive way. And they tell you that without positive thinking you cannot be able to achieve the things you want to go ahead and achieve. But how toxic is it to tell someone that your goals and dreams have not become successful because you're not adding on the positive aspect of it? But in actual sense, have we forgotten aspects of working hard, self-discipline, you know, commitment? You don't have to be as positive as you may want to be in order for you to work towards something or to work harder. You don't have to be as very positive as you think for you to be a self-disciplined person. Those things in your life can still happen. They can still get to where they want to get to. Either way, it doesn't mean that without you being that positive guru, that positive person, that those things will not happen. They will happen. But the idea of positivity in the way we think and in the things we do has really destroyed us to an extent that now we are doubting even the things that are just basic things. I always say this, by neglecting the negative feelings that we feel is trying to tell our brain to reject every information and every data that is storing. Remember, for every emotion that you feel, it's either information to tell you something or data to be stored to teach you something for something better. The whole idea of be positive is a good aspect to enable you to feel lighter and to feel better about the situation. But when it's used in a way that it's demeaning, it creates a lot of things like mental health. The language is so important in how you can help someone when it comes to mental health. A lot of people that I've spoken to, that have been around me, that have talked about this whole idea of positivity, some people do not want to hear it. Some people don't want it to get to them. I remember, and I think I'm still a little bit the same, when I'm going through a situation and someone says it's going to be okay, and I tell them it's not going to be okay, and they're like, no, it's going to be okay, and I tell them it's not going to be okay. The fact that I am fighting back and forth with you on how my emotions are and how my feelings are just shows how much of a positive word or positive aspect has impacted us as human beings, you know, because I have said to you, it's not going to be okay. I know it will be okay. I know it will be fine. But in this very moment, it's just not going to be okay. Allow people to soak into their emotions, to feel their emotions. Be right there to support them and help them and direct them and remind them of what life is and things around them that can help them, rather than making them feel like they have to snap out of it. It's just not a good way to do it. So toxic positivity is not something that is welcome in my life or on this channel. And with that said, my name is Lucy. I make self-improvement, personal growth, mindset videos that can help you actually be a better person after you've taken your time to watch this video. Until next time, I remain Lucy, and stay away from toxic positivity.